All right, as we take a look here at our projected 2022 NFL draft order, look at that. The Jets, Giants, and Eagles all have multiple top 10 picks right now due to trades which involve Jamal Adams, Justin Fields, and picks that eventually became Trey Lance, Jalen Waddle, and Devontae Smith. So listen, scouting for the NFL draft in 2022 well underway already, and our lead draft analyst, Daniel Jeremiah, taking a little break from watching tape to give us a preview. Thanks, DJ. Always appreciate you on that. Okay, so all eyes on Philly because, of course, the Eagles are projected to have 3 first-round picks in this draft in 2022. Do you believe that Philly should look at a QB, or are they squared away with Jalen Hurts?
I think they're still working through that, MJ, and I definitely think they acquired these picks with the thought in mind of not necessarily drafting a quarterback in the 2022 draft, but having the ammunition to maybe go get one of these veterans that potentially could become available. We've heard the rumors, right? We've heard about Aaron Rodgers potentially hitting the market. You hear about the possibility of Russell Wilson being in the trade market. So I think they've got those assets if one of those guys pops free. When I look at Jalen Hurts, though, in comparison with what I've seen so far in this draft class, yeah, you can make a case. Maybe this guy's a little bit better, that guy's a little bit better, but I don't know that the margin is all that great. I think it's well within Jalen Hurts' ability to be able to convince them to push that off into the future and use these 3 first-round picks to support him and see where you can go. He's really played good football the last few weeks. I saw it in the game against the Chargers. I thought he played outstanding there, making things happen with his arm and his legs, and we saw it in the game against Denver as well. So I don't think the book is closed on Jalen Hurts either way. I think this is going to be determined as we go through the rest of the season. I
mean, the book better not be closed, DJ. We're only in like the first pages of the first chapter when it comes to Jalen Hurts, right? So what's the play then here? What's the move for the Eagles? What position should they target with those first-round picks?
Well, you can look at this team, and I think you can identify some needs in the secondary. That's the place they could go. You look at Brandon Graham, who's hurt right now, missing some time. He's gotten a little bit older. You look at Fletcher Cox, who they considered trading at one point in time at that trade deadline. I think that got pretty close to happening. So they're always going to invest in the trenches. That goes back to Andy Reid. Howie Roseman believes in that. I think you look on that defensive front, continue to add there, and I would look at the secondary as well. I think this offensive line has pretty good depth, but I think when you look at this team, the defense will be the place that they focus a lot of their attention.
Okay, we always love to look at the QB prospects, right? DJ, with good reason, and one of the most interesting or intriguing QB prospects in this draft class is Liberty senior Malik Willis. What can you tell us about him?
Yeah, Malik is somebody who transferred from Auburn. He goes down to Liberty, and when I watched him over the summer, MJ, I was excited about him because you get those splash moments, right? Those wow plays. He's built like a linebacker. I mean, he is a thick, strong kid, and you can see him, even when he doesn't have a lot of space to operate in the pocket, he can reach just about every blade of grass on the field with his arm. He has got a big-time power arm to drive the football down the field. As a runner, you know, we've been talking about Jalen Hurts. He kind of reminds me of Jalen Hurts when he gets out there on the move because he is strong. He'll drop his shoulder on you. I mean, just look at him. You can see his lower body, how well he's put together. He powers through tackles and has a toughness that I absolutely love. I think his accuracy and his decision-making has improved this year. I mean, there's been some moments. I think you watched the Ole Miss game, for example, when they're a little bit outmatched in terms of the talent gap there. He held the ball a little bit too long, took a bunch of sacks. That's an area I'd like to see him improve. But this is somebody, when you're talking ability and competitiveness, I really like what I've seen from Malik Willis.
So is Jalen Hurts your NFL comp for him? Because when you said he's built like a linebacker, huge like that, the first person that came to mind for me was Josh Allen. As we know, he's enormous. But yeah, what is the best NFL comp for Willis?
Yeah, I mean, Josh Allen, though, being like 6'5", and this is like a 6'1", 6'2" version of Josh Allen, just how sturdy and how strong he is. There's not really a perfect comparison for him. He's a very unique player. But I think when you look at him as a runner, build-wise, yeah, I see some Jalen Hurts, but I think he's further advanced as a passer at this point in time than Jalen was at Oklahoma at this point in time in his career. So I guess I would say that's the way I would kind of look at it. You're looking at a Jalen Hurts plus is how I would look at Malik Willis.
I mean, if that's not piquing people's interest, I don't know what would. All right, let's switch a little bit here to the New York teams because both Jets and Giants have 2 picks inside the top 10 right now. The Jets have their own pick and Seattle's based on the Jamal Adams trade. The Giants have their own and the Bears pick based on the Justin Fields trade. So which New York team at this point has the most upside for you, DJ?
Well, I'll tell you, the New York Giants have definitely been more competitive this year and only have one more win, but the Jets have had some lopsided games. I'm still going to lean towards the Jets as somebody who lives and breathes the draft, MJ. They each have 2 first-round picks. Well, the Jets also going to have a couple second-round picks. They've got a lot of draft ammunition. And when you look at this roster, Carl Lawson, who was having a phenomenal camp, who they paid all that money to, coming over from the Bengals to kind of be that premier pass rusher, they lose him in training camp, so we haven't seen him at all this year. We're not going to see him. Hopefully he's back and healthy next year. So that's going to be getting a big-time impact player right there. You look at Mekhi Becton, their first-round pick from last year, who we saw maul people in the run game. You can't get through him in pass protection, just too big and strong. He gets a knee injury early in the season. This year, he's missed a big chunk of time. So just by getting those 2 key pieces in the trenches healthy, I think it'll help. And then you look at the prospect of being able to be aggressive in free agency and then having all this draft capital for Joe Douglas to really try and cash in. And I wouldn't even rule out, MJ, them using one of those picks that they possess to maybe trade for a proven veteran player. They're at that point in the process right now. They need to start winning games. And if that means taking a pick and going and getting a proven commodity, I would imagine Joe Douglas would be very willing to do that.
Okay, I like that option. Anything could happen, as we know, especially as we lead up to the draft. But it seems like both teams could use a pass rusher. And when we talk about Michigan senior Aiden Hutchinson, he would be an asset to any club looking to rush the quarterback. But, and here's why I love this question, what's the best fit for him, though? What would best serve Hutchinson?
Well, I think if you look at talented pass rushers and gifted cornerbacks, I think all 32 teams will raise their hand and say, yeah, he fits with us. But when I look at a team like the Atlanta Falcons, that would be a fascinating one to me. This is a team that has 11 sacks, last in the league with the Falcons. Aiden Hutchinson is a proven commodity as a pass rusher playing against elite competition. He's 6'6", he's 265 plus pounds. He plays physical in the run game, but as a pass rusher, he's got all the tricks in his bag. He's got outstanding hand moves. He can win with speed. He can win speed to power. He's got a nice long arm move. So they haven't seen many pass rushers in Atlanta like him. It's been quite some time. They've been investing pick after pick after pick and haven't been able to hit at that spot. I think he would give them something they desperately need. Now, the question is, are they going to end up winning too many ball games to take themselves out of the Aiden Hutchinson business? That's going to be fascinating to watch.
Daniel Jeremiah doing the heavy lifting for us ahead of the 2022 NFL Draft, which begins April 28th in Las Vegas. Don't forget also to check out his podcast, Move the Sticks.